Let's go to the 6th. 1 mile on the turf, 3 and up. Non-winners of 2 races in life, or 3-year-olds. 30,000 down to 25. Scratch the 11 and 12 thus far. That's all I have right now. And I went with the number 2, and you went with the 2, Sea Hunt. And I'm going to date myself a little bit. That was one of my favorite shows when I was growing up, Sea Hunt.
I didn't know TV was out when you were growing up, but in any case, we have backtracks to show you later on in the program. Sea Hunt here this afternoon. This is the Murphy's Law angle between Ronnie and myself.
Exactly.
This race is really, really, really competitive. Invariably, we'll always land on the same horses here. I don't have a real good, strong opinion. There's a lot of different ways you can go. Sea Hunt has proven he's a South Florida fan, as he won his last race here in South Florida. Did so with a stalk and pounce trip. That could work again for him today.
Number 7, Ex-Pirate, makes his first start since finishing 3rd. That was in the $90,000 49. It was across town at Gulfstream. That was back on August 23rd. Trainer Kirk Zeddy, he's 41% with those 61 to 180 days layoff. And this horse is working pretty good. If you look, he's got a 5 furlong bullet over this track in 1 minute and 4.
I have a question for you, and I have a question for all the racing fans out there as well from a rhetorical standpoint. Question to you. Here's a horse that got beat 4 lengths in a stake. He's a stakes winner. Why would you put him in for $30,000 off an extended layoff?
Well, they see this bond does that every once in a while. What about the Sea Hunt too? You know, was in for an entry-level allowance, dropping down to $30,000. Just looks like a spot where you can win a race. If you lose him, you can take him back.
We'll move on. That's a great. Hey, listen, I posed the question to you, and you answered it beautifully. Other horses to include are the 8 Rackham Earl from Indiana for Mike Maker. That's who you used.
Yeah.
I used the 10 an Imaginary Road for Tim Hills. He's like a horse from yesterday, Romp and Reed, in that he runs his race every time. You know what you're going to get with this horse. You're going to get about a 72, 73 buyer. That puts him right in the thick of things here. I think he stands a big chance under veteran turf rider Jose Valdivia.
Well, let's flip the page and go to the 7th race of the afternoon, and this is 1 mile. Claim is 3 and up, $8,000. Scratched the 2 Pennant and Prayers, and scratched one of the horses I had picked for sure, and that's the 8 Rush now. But we're going to show you a video back from September 21st, and it's the stretch run of Tiz Bobby.
Yeah, I'm glad we don't have audio for this video because I got slapped on the wrist and slapped upside the head for this call. Look at Rocky Cap. He was 5 in front. Now he's 4 in front. Now he's 2.5 in front. And now here's Tiz Bobby down the outside, reeling him in like he was tied to a wall there. Tiz Bobby getting up that afternoon to run down the veteran Rocky Gap, who blew a big lead that day. But Tiz Bobby was also making up ground, and that's his MO. He likes to make up ground, and he's shown that he can race over this course. He's only been moderately successful on this course, which is a little bit of a concern. He was also scratched here the other day. I think that he's a horse that has never been able to prove himself on this course, not because he hates the course, but because he was in over his head when he was racing here. He was in the allowance optional claiming route level here today. Now he's taking a little bit of a step up, non-winners of the year, in for wide open 8. But again, there's not a whole lot of your regular wide open 8s in here. He finds a good spot.
Did you see that? Can you read that?
A Pete No-No.
This is a horse going from condition claimers into open company. You never, ever bet them. And here you are, have Tiz Bobby right up top. And I wrote right here, this is the first claim by Dario Vega and a Pete No-No.
Well, here's why, and I just said it a little bit. I'll make exceptions to the rule. That's why there's rules, because there always will be exceptions. This is not a wide open 8 claimer from the standpoint of your regular suspect wide open 8 claimers. Dreaming of Joey, he's non-winners of 4 eligible. We don't write that here in South Florida, so he's open by default. But you don't have your 9, 10, 11-time winners that are already chipping away. Hugo Light being the exception, and that's why he got my second selection in the race. He's a 62.5 horse that's in for 8. This is an $8,000 race that came up a little light by the standpoint of $8,000 races. So Tiz Bobby, it's not as big a rise as you would usually find going from time restricted to open.
Okay, I love the 1 in here, Dreaming of Joey. This one's turning back to a mile after setting the pace, getting nailed late to finish 3rd at a mile into 16th. That was on a good track. Trainer Ronnie Spatz got Orlando Boca Chica, a very aggressive rider. Look at this horse's record at Gulfstream Park West. 4 starts, 2 wins in the second. I'm expecting big things from this horse. Turning back to the mile today. I think this horse has a tactical advantage in the race, and he's one of the singles when we show you my Perfect 10 ticket a little later on today.
I only worry about Call Me Back. I'm not going to take a shot. You gave me the opening chest there, but I'm not going to swing. Call Me Back wants the lead, and so does Dreaming of Joey.
Right.
That never really works out when 2 horses hook up. I'll run you down in race number 7.
Let's go to the 8th race, and let's go back to the turf course here. This is 5 furlongs, fillies, 2-year-olds, maiden special weight, scratch the 8, the AEs 11 and 12. And please note that the number 13, who I think figures in here, Rwanda Daytona, is getting in off the ticket. So you might want to readjust when you're putting your ticket together for the perfect 10, because it starts in the first race, and you have to be aware of these horses getting in the AEs that figure. And this is certainly one I made a special note of it to remind everyone there. With that said, I went with the 3, Lady Mayfair.
Well, I'd used the 13 in my top 3, but didn't find out until about 2 minutes before we went on the air that she drew in. She has a big chance, Rona Daytona. The post is no bargain, but she has a big chance. This is a very, very competitive race. I'm happy that we didn't land on exactly the same horses. I used the 2 on top. CEO on the dock saw a Daughter of Street Boss out of a Boston Harbor mare. A little bit of speed on the bottom half of that pedigree, and Orlando Boca Chica takes over for trainer Jane Sibeli. It's not a combination we've seen much, so here's my logic. We have a Boston Harbor on the bottom with a Boca Chica riding 5/8 on the grass, and Boca Chica is notoriously aggressive. This horse must have a little bit of speed. I don't think that the 1's going to be able to stay up in there, so maybe I'm in front on the inside, and I'll take it.
Well, number 3, Lady Mayfair, excuse me, we're going to play the percentages here. Is a $75,000 Daughter of Medaglia d'Oro, debuting for Astronic Stables, and trainer Ramon Morales. And here's the stat. If you look, he's 35% with his debut runners. This horse is working very nicely across town at Gulfstream Park. Got good stats on the trainer. You know, we haven't seen much of his horses running down here, but Lady Mayfair, lots of things to like about it. I think you got to have that on your perfect 10 ticket.
Well, I just noticed this as you were talking about the statistics for Ramon Morales, and for those of you who are looking and going, what are you relying on information-wise? It's impossible. He's only started 9 horses this year. How can he be 57 first-timers and win at a 35% clip? The reason for that is he's based in Puerto Rico. The Racing Form statistics do account for Puerto Rico races when doing the ROI and things of that nature. They do not, however, account for them from a North American stat standpoint, which is what you see when you have 2014 only 9 starts. That's North American starters, but the Puerto Rico stats come in on first time. That's valuable information in the Daily Racing Form because it guarantees you that Ramon Morales is a lot better than his 0-for-9 record.
Without a doubt, and training for Mr. Stronach should be a key to that right there. Talking about that one ZZ Zoom. This one is making his first start since making a middle move, flattened out, and a 6 furlong turf debut. It was up at Belmont. It was on September 5th. Trainer Amy Turan has Leandro Conclaves in the saddle, handling that inside post. This horse going to the lead today, and they're going to be there, or is it going to just stalk?
He's not going to the lead. I can pretty much guarantee you that. With an inside post and Goncalves riding, descend is not going to be the tactic, especially when I figure the 2 is going to be intent on the front. ZZ Zoom is a horse that doesn't have to do much improving to be a big factor here. My big thing with this filly is that she's going to have to run back to her race at Belmont last time out. She's been laid up and on the farm. I don't know that she's really primed for that run yet. She would be my second start off a layoff play. 6-horse Rose Graciela finished with interest last time out for Antonio Sano. If she gets forgot about in the wagering, she's a horse to use in your daily doubles. The winner of that last race, Catfight Cowgirl, was a well-regarded horse from the barn of Jose Pinchin. Richie Strix, who ran second, was a Wesley Ward trainee. So the race dopes out pretty well for Rose Graciela. Like I said, I think they might forget about her. She might be a horse to conclude.
And don't forget about the number 13 getting in that race when you're putting your perfect 10 ticket together.
Yeah, if Rona Daytona runs like she has when she's run on the grass the last 2 times, I actually think this field might be in trouble. I realize her figures are really not all that good, but she's been keeping good company and racing very well on the grass.
Well, let's go to our 9th race of the afternoon, 5.5 furlong starter, optional claimer, 3-year-olds and up. The claiming price you got to run for in here is $10,000, and we're going to go back and
What a horse race this is.
We're going to go back and show you a race from October 10th. I believe you called it. Let's see the stretch run.
I love it when you say that, like there would be somebody else who would be calling it. A lot of horses are in this race that were in this last race. Quiz Whiz down the center, down on the inside, that's Quiz Whiz rather. Down the outside, here comes Momus No Tiz. Blings Express is the gray from up between them. I think there's another horse that's coming out of that race also, maybe not. But those top 3, Blings Express the gray, that's Moments No Tiz on the outside, and Quiz Whiz down toward the inside. There is another one. Haywired was between them. The top 4 in that race are all back in this race here this afternoon. You can see they finished all within a length of each other. The pace was key that day. They went quick. I don't know that it's exactly going to be the same pace scenario, but man, you have 4 horses within a length of each other. If this isn't a case where you take the highest price and go on, I don't know what is.
Well, I have 4 Blinks Express on top like you do, but what about the 5 Lover Bill? This one was second to Blinks Express here in March. Now returns, ran up against State Bred Allowance competition up at Monmouth. Jorge Navarro, Josie Gomez. This horse, if you look at his previous record here at Gulfstream Park West, 9 starts, 3 wins, a second and a third, and I think this might be a little bit of a speed play from Jorge Navarro with this 5.
You mean from off the speed?
Off the speed, yeah.
Well, I got to give White Rabbit Racing a lot of credit. Darren DeLucia works very, very hard at this. What an astute claim this horse was. This horse is a New Jersey bred, racing in Florida, knocking heads with good horses, in for 62.5. They take him for 62.5. They haul to New Jersey and beat Jersey bred allowance horses. Oh, by the way, the purse, $51,000. Nice little ROI there. Great job of training, and a very astute claim there by the White Rabbit Racing outfit on Lover Bill. I think you're right. If this race does fall apart, he's the horse that sets up the best to close from off the speed, and I say that even with Moments Notiz on the outside. He closed from off the speed last time out, but he's a horse that has a little more tactical speed than Lover Bill. Lover Bill at this trip is a dedicated come-from-behind horse, and if the race falls apart, he definitely is a horse to use. I like Moments Notiz right back, though. I like the way he finished last time out.
And Quiz Wiz, we both have on our ticket, was part of that blanket finish that we just saw there, and I think he can be part of the action. That's the number 1, and as I say, if you have a chance and you're across town and we have those video machines at Gulfstream Park, you can take a look at this race again.
Yeah, it is a race you want to watch 2 or 3 times because these horses are really all hard knockers. They all really fire each and every time, and they all beat each other. I mean, even County Gun, who was last that afternoon, that horse made the lead in that last race in 21-4. So horse definitely factors also, if nothing more than from a standpoint of muddling the pace. This is an awesome horse race. It's our Monday feature today, and I'm really excited to call that. I love these kind of races. Have so many hard-knocking horses here.
All right, now calm down. We still have one race to do in here. 1 mile and 1/16th on the turf, 3 and up. Non-winners of 3 in life, 12,005. I make myself laugh sometimes.
I can't be excited about a nice field of allowance horses. Come on.
Just the way you said it. Sorry. Before this race, we're going to show you a race back from October 2nd. It's the stretch run of the 6 horse that day. Soka Joe holding on the win by half length. And in that race, defeated a next out winner called I'll Leave With You. So key race is sort of percolating here. So Osaka Joe, off that performance, I thought that was worth a call right back here today. So you'll see this horse running, and he just holds on, and like I said, beats that next out winner. So
that next out winner, I'll Leave It With You, won on this course too, which is relevant. Osaka Joe was confidently handled by Diego Gomez. I actually agree with you. If he trips out the same way he did last time, he definitely is a horse to beat in this race. This race, to me, to quote the old Ron Nicoletti, vintage Ron Nicoletti, this race has more questions than it does answers.
There you go. That's one of my old lines that I used to throw out. Number 1, My Nobleman, now in a Bruno Tesori barn. This one steps up after splitting rivals in the stretch to defeat 12,500, 2 lifetime types. Gulfstream Park turf, new connections, keep the same rider, Jose Valdivia Jr. What do you think?
I think it's a big step up from non-winners of 2 to non-winners of 3 at this level, and because of that, I steered away from him.
No kidding. Well, who do you like? Who else do you have on your ticket?
I used Dardanian. He's been a horse that I've been chasing. He has a swoop and pounce style for Jesus Rios. Jesus tried it 2 and 3 starts back, and he just was too late. This race, pace-wise, might favor his style just a little bit better. I think he's got a chance to be a part of this. I also think he'll be forgot about at the windows. He was 12-1 last time. He'll be higher than that today.
I love saying the name of this horse, the 8, Philantropo. He's a late striding type who was competitive with this level of competition before stumbling and dumping the rider last time out. So I think this horse is going to be ignored a little bit, and I think he can help the exact and try. Every time there's a horse, that doesn't have a running line because of some mishap at the gate, have run well before, so why not use him again?
I used to have a guy that used to come to Gulfstream Park West when I was growing up that had a huge angle. He loved the Vandolph or did not make the course angle.
I don't know about that angle.
That was a huge angle, did not make the course angle. That applies to Philantropo from the standpoint of he lost his rider last time out. Philantropo does have tactical speed if he wants to use it. Could be put to good use.
Is that in your handicapping book?
No, it's not in the handicapping book. It's in the acknowledgments. Jimbo was the guy's name, and he used to love that angle. Dragon Tail's another horse that I used on the bottom. He'll be forgot about. You got to use him in your high five.
Now, don't forget that the perfect 10 starts in race number 1. You got 33 minutes. You got to get going. There's a $25,000 guarantee. And give one single out. What's your one single in this whole mess?
Wow. Put my feet to the fire. We know you have a couple of singles.
Right.
If I had a couple of singles as I'm flipping through the form, wow, this is not easy. I really don't know, Ronnie. I'd have to go too deep in about 4 or 5 different races, so that would help you with the cost of the ticket. I definitely would like to be alive going into races 9 and 10. They are really, really tough races.
I'm hanging my hat on Dreaming of Joey in the 7th as the one single. I'm usually got a couple actually on my ticket, but that's the one I'll
well,
mention
I mean,
now.
you know, you look at the price right now as we are looking at 22 or 32 minutes away, 2 to 5 on Coro. Coro, if you knock him off in the first leg, you're going to be in front of a lot of folks already. It's kind of a frustrating start to the perfect 10 wager, because do you try to beat him and then he wins at 2 to 5 and you're mad because you spent the money, or do you single him up and he gets run down and you go, well, that's great, I don't even get past the second race? That's for you, the racing fan, to decide. I can't tell you. I can tell you this: I will be trying to beat Coro.
Okay, that wraps up Monday's racing. We'll be back a little later on with some useful updates, and Pete will be here all throughout the day calling the races from high atop Gulfstream Park West.
Well, I hope you'll be all right. You get a day off tomorrow, and we start back up on Wednesday with a $50,000 guarantee in the Rainbow Six.
That's right.
6-day racing weeks for the next couple of weeks, and very, very good racing here in South Florida.
Guess what happens on Friday and Saturday? Breeders' Cup.
Absolutely.
You can bet it both here or at Gulfstream Park in the beautiful state-of-the-art Silks Simulcast
And you also
Center.
get a Breeders' Cup souvenir with a Breeders' Cup hat if you buy a seat on Breeders' Cup Day, and I would challenge anyone to explain to me why you would not want to sit down on a busy day like the Breeders' Cup.
With a hat on.
Well, no argument there. Beautiful weather, beautiful racing, great card of racing here this afternoon, and 31 minutes till first race post.